Welcome to part 4 of my horror DVD collection. If you haven't checked out the first 3 parts already, please go check them out. So, let's get on with this. So, start off with this pile. So, first up is, I have the Ring trilogy. This is the American remake. I've seen the Japanese version, well, the first Japanese one. And yeah, while I thought it was good, I'm not really the biggest fan of movies, of foreign language films with subtitles. You know, no matter how good the film may be, I just find it difficult to sit through those kind of films. You know, because reading the subtitles while also trying to focus on what's going on in the film. You know, I watch a movie to relax. You know, I watch a movie to watch a movie, not to read. But yeah, I do love this one though. This is a really good film, and I have The Ring 2, and then Rings. Yeah, great trilogy. And a classic, The Lost Boys. Yeah, The Lost Boys is great. I mean, I wouldn't rate it quite as high as everyone else does, but it's still a classic. It's still a great film. But it's not one of my absolute favourite films of all time, but it's still great. And this is Night Watch. It's a vampire film. It's actually a Russian film with subtitles, but it also does have an English dubbed version as well. So this one has both versions on it. So yeah, whenever I watch this, I just watch it in English. But yeah, really good vampire film. And the sequel, Daywatch, which I can't say I've actually watched this one yet. I've had it in my collection for a few years. Yeah, this one's also Russian, but there is also an English dubbed version. And I have all the Hostel trilogies. This is the first Hostel film. Yeah, these are great. They're very brutal, very messed up, but yeah, I do love a gore fest. Hostel Part 2, and then Part 3. And then this is Piranha 3D, so this is the remake of Piranha. I've not seen the original one from the 70s, from 1978, I think. I know they did another remake in the 90s, but yeah, this is the one from 2010. But yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. And also the sequel, Piranha DD. Yeah, this one was pretty fun as well. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And next is The Gorgon, Hammer horror film with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Great film. This is actually a DVD-R copy. Yeah, which actually came from, I think it came from Amazon. But yeah, didn't actually know that until after it arrived. But it plays fine. You know, the sound and picture quality on here is actually really good, despite it being a copy. But eventually, I will try and look for a real copy of this. You know, a pre-recorded copy that, you know, a non-pirated version. But you know, this is good as this will do for me as a placeholder. And I have all the Jaws movies. So there's the first Jaws. Yeah, Jaws is great. And Jaws 2, also really good. And the really underrated Jaws 3. Yeah, I like Jaws 3. Jaws the Revenge, easily the weakest of the 4, but I still enjoyed this one. I mean, it's got Michael Caine in it. You know, I think Michael Caine's the best part of the film, to be honest. He's just great in this film. And I have Dog Soldiers, really good werewolf film. And then John Carpenter's The Fog. Yeah, great film. And I also have the remake of The Fog, which I actually enjoyed the remake. Yeah, a lot of people didn't enjoy this one, but I like this. I like this a lot. And Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I can't say I've watched this yet. I think I got it about a year ago. But yeah, so I've got some here in my collection that I've not even watched. Most of these I have watched a lot, but there's a few here that I've not gotten around to watching. And next one, this is the Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I've only watched once. You know, it was okay. It's decent. I'll have to watch it again. It's been a while since I last watched it. And this is Play Misty for Me, Clint Eastwood film. Technically more of a thriller than a horror, but it has enough horror elements for me to consider it a horror. You know, it has some disturbing moments in it. But yeah, it's a great film. Probably, I believe this was Clint Eastwood's directional debut. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is. But yeah, quite an underrated film. I love this. And I Am Legend, the version with Will Smith. I have seen the original one, The Last Man on Earth, with Vincent Price, which is really good. I haven't seen Omega Man, which is the version with is it Charlton Heston? But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I will look for a copy of the Vincent Price one. And this is Jagged Edge, which has Jeff Bridges and Glenn Close in it, and it also has Robert Loggia in it as well. So yeah, it's part of it is a courtroom drama, but yeah, and it turns out that the killer, spoiler alert, turns out to be Jeff Bridges. But yeah, it's got some horror elements. So I do consider it somewhat of a horror. And Drive Angry, kind of it's sort of an action film, but it does have horror elements. Yeah, it's Nicolas Cage. Great. The only thing I don't like about this film is, well, Amber Heard's in it. Other than that, it's a great film. How about some Rob Zombie, eh? House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah, this is really good, although I prefer the sequel, Devil's Rejects. The best of the trilogy. I don't have the third film, unfortunately, the Three from Hell. I've seen it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the first two. But yeah, I love those. And 28 Days Later. Fantastic. It's ironic that I said fantastic, considering Christopher Eccleston's in this movie. If you know, you know. And then the sequel, 28 Weeks Later, which I enjoyed this. It's got Robert Carlyle in it. It's got Jeremy Renner and Idris Elba. So yeah, the sequel's also great. Eden Lake, I enjoyed this. It has a very twisted ending that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I really enjoyed Eden Lake. And Silent Hill. Yeah, I've watched these once. I quite enjoyed these. I've never played the video games because, as I said in the previous video, where I actually did show my Resident Evil DVDs, I'm not a gamer. But yeah, I enjoyed Silent Hill, and the second one, Silent Hill Revelation. And last here is the Mummy franchise. So this is the Mummy Complete Legacy Collection. Yeah, and one of the a couple of the the spindles that hold the discs in place, they're broken. So unfortunately the discs are rattling around in here. But yeah, this has the Mummy, the original version with Boris Karloff. You also have the Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's Tomb, the Mummy's Ghost, the Mummy's Curse, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. So that's a really nice box set. I don't have any of the Hammer versions. I've seen the one with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, which was great. I love that version. But yeah, I would like to have the Hammer ones as well. But yeah, and of course I have the 1999 remake. Brendan Fraser. Yeah, this was great. And then the Mummy Returns, which of course has The Rock playing the Scorpion King. And then the Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. And then this is the Scorpion King collection, because of course because the first Scorpion King film is basically the spin-off prequel to The Mummy Returns, which has The Rock. I think this was The Rock's first. I think it was his first starring role. Yeah, I believe this was his first starring role. Oop. And you've also got sequels: Rise of a Warrior, Battle for Redemption, and Quest for Power. I think I've only watched the sequels once. They're not as good as the first film. I mean, the character from the first film, it's the same character, but The Rock doesn't reprise his role in the sequels. Yeah, they recast him. But yeah, the first one's great. And I have the version with Tom Cruise, the 2017 reboot. I enjoyed this one, even though I don't like Tom Cruise very much. But he's been in some really good films. This was one of them. I really enjoyed this one. I saw it at the cinema when it came out. And I've only got two more to show here. This is The Green Room. Yeah, this is great. Very disturbing. It's very, very violent, but very disturbing. But yeah, it's got Patrick Stewart in it, and it's also got Anton Yelchin, who played Chekhov in the new Star Trek film. So it's got two Star Trek stars in it. And this was one of the last films that Anton Yelchin did before his tragic death. But yeah, I really enjoyed Green Room. Oh, that pile collapsed. I'll sort that out afterwards. So what was the last? Oh yeah. And the last one here is Sweeney Todd. This is the BBC adaptation with Ray Winstone. Yeah, I can't say I've watched this yet, but I will watch it because I do like Ray Winstone. And yeah, it's got David Bradley in it as well. So yeah, I will have to watch this. I haven't actually seen the one with Johnny Depp, but I'm not really a fan of musicals. So that's part 4 of my horror DVD collection, and I will see you again in part 5. Until then, I'm gonna have to clear this up now.